Funko Pops. They're the collectible vinyl figurines based on your favourite pop culture franchises that everyone loves, except for the occasional unsold truckload that gets dumped in a landfill for alien archaeologists to discover in 2,000 years. Anyhow, Funko Pops are getting a whole video game. First teased in April 2023, figurine-focused adventure Funko Fusion has since unveiled its gameplay and a release date. Most recently shown off at June's Nintendo Direct, Funko Fusion is a collection of 20+ of the world's biggest entertainment franchises bundled up in one big adventure, drawing together IPs as diverse as Jurassic World, Hot Fuzz, and Masters of the Universe. Surely this can only be a good thing, you think? Naively. You sweet summer child. Well, I'm sorry to break the hearts of anyone lovingly clutching a rare 2010 SDCC exclusive Batman Funko Pop, but Funko Fusion might be the worst thing to happen to video games since that Nintendo virtual headset that made everyone's eyes bleed. In fact, we think it's definitely going to be the worst thing to happen to licensed video games ever, which is truly saying something in that benighted subgenre. And here's why. We're not going to pretend that every licensed game has been a hit. Some have been real stinkers, even to the point of basically crashing the entire games industry. But we've had some truly brilliant licensed games over the years, taking recognisable properties and turning them into truly iconic interactive adventures, from spying up a storm in bona fide classic GoldenEye 007 to swinging around New York in Marvel's Spider-Man series. Where some licensed games are retreads of the actual films they're based on, like tie-in title X-Men's Origins Wolverine, others are entirely new adventures, like Alien Isolation, in which you explore the Sevastopol station as the daughter of Ellen Ripley. These games succeeded because they centered unique gameplay elements derived from the setting and characters, such as Spider-Man's web slinging, Wolverine's gnarly healing abilities, and Amanda Ripley's motion tracker. You've not experienced true fear until that thing starts beeping while you're under a vent. The trouble is, Funko Fusion has you playing as a vast cast of characters that you'll have to collect, and because you'll end up switching between them pretty regularly, they'll all have to play pretty similarly. Compare that to the licensed Disney and Square Enix crossover multiverse series Kingdom Hearts, which has more characters than you could shake a keyblade at, but you still jump from Disney World to Disney World as single protagonist Sora, with your unique keyblade weaponry and gravity-defying hair. It's no surprise for franchise mega mashup Funko Fusion then that the game is a generic third-person action shooter to generically accommodate licensed characters as varied as Claire Dearing to Nicholas Angel to She-Ra. I should not be looking at a game where I get to play as She-Ra and going, eh. Let's address the brick-shaped elephant in the room. There is a toy company that has created licensed games with huge character rosters and made it work. Made it work really well, in fact. LEGO's charming family-friendly games all have an excellent vibe. From the world design to the character design to the gameplay design, LEGO games are about emulating and elevating the joy of messing about with actual LEGO. The licensed heroes and villains you play as may have different powers, but they all help you put bricks together like you're playing with actual LEGO. When you're playing with Funko Pops, well, you don't. Funko Pops are collectibles that sit on your shelves, often still in their boxes if you don't want to lose their value as collectibles. They're for having, not playing. The studio behind Funko Fusion, 1010 Games, has developers on staff who came from TT Games, the studio which for years was making the main LEGO titles. So there are talented folks working on this game. The problem is, static figurines that you're best off not touching at all don't really offer up concepts for unique gameplay elements. It looks like there are puzzles to do and plastic-looking movie worlds to explore, but judging from the trailers, it seems the Funko Pop character models are the only truly unique thing Funko Fusion has. And going by the trailer, sometimes those character models get in the way, literally. We understand that the game wants to show these figurines off with a third-person perspective, but going by gameplay trailers, that view appears to mean that the giant blocky Funko heads can often obscure what you're trying to look at. Comparisons between LEGO games and Funko Fusion are inevitable, especially after LEGO already did a multiverse game in LEGO Dimensions. Not to mention the fact that this game, featuring Jurassic World characters, will have a direct comparison in the LEGO Jurassic World game from 2015. And let's not forget Gorilla's upcoming LEGO Horizon Adventures, which looks altogether more charming.
This is gonna be fun.
Most people buying Funko Pops are millennials and geriatric Gen Zers, rather than actual children. And among the franchises on Funko Fusion's roster are adults-only properties like Megan, The Walking Dead, and The Thing. For that reason, presumably, the game appears to be leaning into its young to not so young adult audience. When LEGO people die in kid-friendly LEGO games, they break charmingly apart into component pieces. When Funkos get killed, they apparently full-on bleed red plastic? Oh my god, so that's what's inside a Funko Pop? Anyway, it's going to be a tricky balance. A game about a bunch of toys, but it's not for kids, and sometimes the little guys bleed from their heads? Ugh. Some folks out there may be excited at the prospect of a game filled with characters drawn from Funko's huge pool of licensed figurines. But we're here to say, adjust those expectations way down. No further. Further. Just keep going. To everyone going, OMG, I can't believe Freddy Fazbear and Scott Pilgrim are in the same game. You can actually very easily believe they are, because every character and world in this game is owned by one single entertainment business. That is, Universal. Legacy media companies like Universal have huge libraries of intellectual property, and crossovers are a useful way to deploy them, while making a lot of money off of people who want to see a Clockwork Orange cameo in Space Jam 2 or Arya Stark fighting Looney Tunes.
Where am I?
What's up, Doc?
In the case of Funko Fusion, Universal has outsourced the job of mashing these worlds together to Funko and 1010 Games. That makes Universal's job easier, but it also makes it confusing and disappointing for anyone who might expect their favourite non-Universal Funkos to feature in a Funko Pop game. To give you an idea of how disappointing, at the time of writing, Funko Pop has created over 15,000 different Funko Pop designs for nearly every media business on the planet. The vast majority of these characters will not appear in Funko Fusion. In a nutshell, incorporating non-Universal Pops into Funko Fusion would be a nightmare of licensing and brand safety issues, giving the aforementioned head bleeding. Let's just say we don't think Disney is going to put Donald Duck in a game with The Thing. The drive to siphon cash out of gamers' pockets with microtransactions is as ubiquitous as Funko Pops themselves, and as soulless as their black doll eyes. Our concern is that Funko Fusion will accordingly hide a bunch of unlockable characters behind a paywall, what with this being a game based on collectibles, whose customer base is youngish adults with disposable income and a desire to complete a set. Even the LEGO games, already boasting huge rosters of unlockable characters, couldn't resist adding character packs. But the clearest indicator of all that this is incredibly likely is that Funko Fusion already has characters locked behind pre-order bonuses. If you head over to game.co.uk, the UK's answer to GameStop, you're met with this list of pre-order bonuses. Pre-order to receive game-exclusive He-Man and Megan in-game bonus outfits. And pre-order to receive the Walking Dead in-game DLC pack, including 2 beloved characters from the Walking Dead comic books. Content includes Rick Grimes playable character, Rick Grimes leader outfit, Michonne playable character, Michonne traveler outfit. Sorry Walking Dead fans, if you want to add your favourite Apocalypse Boy Rick Grimes to your collection, you gotta pre-order. Funko Fusion understands that collecting will be a big deal to its players, showing off some of its character roster in their numbered boxes right here in the trailer. But you can't get every one of them without forking out some money before the game is even out, or buying from multiple stores. Sure, you get He-Man and Megan variants from game.co.uk, but you'll have to buy the game from Smith's Toys if you want the same variants of Chucky from Child's Play and Klaus from Umbrella Academy. If they're running with this playbook at launch, they will 100% be adding more characters to the game via microtransactions later down the line. Which would make sense if they somehow did end up adding characters from non-Universal properties because, hey, gotta pay for the rights to those. But come on Universal, you gotta lock Michonne away? Okay, taking bets now. Who are they gonna add at Halloween? Is it gonna be the Addams Family, E.T. or The Purge?
Post-filming VO Ellen here with an added note to say that right after filming, there was another trailer drop sharing that players buying on Steam will get a free Team Fortress 2 pack, allowing those who purchase the game on Steam to play as the Heavy, the Scout, the Medic and the Engineer. But while it's exciting to see a non-Universal Studios piece of intellectual property being shown off, we can't help but worry that now we'll see lots more Funko characters locked into different platforms depending on different rights. Like when Spider-Man was only in the PlayStation version of that Avengers game, and everyone playing on other platforms got understandably annoyed as they'd have to buy a mid-game on multiple platforms just to get all of the actual Avengers. Plus, seeing as Valve have done nearly nothing with Team Fortress 2 for years, this is another example of a company throwing an IP to Funko and 1010 Games and hoping they can do something with it. Heck, one reason we're not getting other characters like The Spy is they actually only commissioned 3 official TF2 Funko Pops, with only the Engineer being an entirely new design for this game. As a result, many TF2 fans see this DLC as, quote, rubbing salt in an open wound at this point, which actually brings me nicely onto my next point. Thanks, TF2 fans.
Oh man, you would not believe how much this hurts.
As a British comedy nerd, I am a lifelong fan of the work of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I watched them both in Spaced the very first night it aired on Channel 4. I was a fan of Simon Pegg in the BBC sketch show Big Train before that. I am 100% the target market for a game set in the Cornetto trilogy. The fact that I'm now getting it stuffed in the middle of a Funko Pop multiverse game really feels like a monkey's paw wish fulfillment moment. To be honest, this kind of fits with the whole Funko ethos. No matter how niche your favourite cult classic is, companies can easily get merchandise made by Funko who will trim and distill a character down to the clear and simple design of a Funko Pop. For example, please say hi to King Arthur from Monty Python and the Holy Grail and little Olivia from Basil the Great Mouse Detective. I own both of these. The problem is, going forward, there's a risk that every Universal movie, old and new, that might have had its own possibly not terrible video game will instead get trimmed and distilled down into the simple design of Funko Fusion and shoveled in next to everything else. Look, maybe a game based on Shaun of the Dead wouldn't have sold like hotcakes, but it deserves better than to be reduced down to a couple of levels next to Jurassic World. Put Shaun in Dead by Daylight at least. Also, public service announcement, Jordan Peele's horror movie Nope is in this game, and the trailer spoils a huge part of it, so heads up. This highlights another issue with multiverse games in that inevitably, when playing them, there will be one franchise in there that you haven't watched yet, maybe more than one. For instance, if you've never got around to binging Battlestar Galactica, there's going to be a whole universe where you'll struggle to understand what the frack is going on, especially when none of the characters have mouths. Too often, no matter how hard artists work on these things, huge crossovers like these just end up being companies going, look at all the stuff we have the rights to. Funko Fusion risks being less of a game and more of a showcase of the films, of the Funko Pops they've made, and of all the money you can spend on them. That's what I think, anyway. Let us know what you're thinking on Funko Fusion in the comments. So, you gonna play it? Do you even care about Funko Pops? Share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Outside Xtra. Bye!